Long ago, in a bustling market town, there lived a weaver named Elias. Known for his intricate patterns and vivid colors, his work had become the pride of the town. People admired his craft, and his business flourished. Elias had a simple routine: wake up early, weave until the market opened, and sell his masterpieces to eager buyers. His days were predictable, safe, and seemingly perfect. But what many didn't know was that Elias carried a quiet discontent. Beneath the rhythm of his life, there was an unshakable feeling that something was missing. One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky with hues Elias himself could never replicate, an old traveler stopped by his workshop. The man, dressed in tattered robes, admired Elias's work and spoke softly. "Your hands are skilled, but your eyes reveal a restless soul. Tell me, why do you remain here?" Elias hesitated. "This is my life. It's secure. People depend on me. Leaving this behind would be reckless." The old man's eyes twinkled. "Sometimes what feels like a safe harbor is just a cage disguised as comfort." And with that, the traveler left, leaving Elias with a question that echoed in his mind. That night, Elias dreamed of his loom. But instead of weaving cloth, it spun chains that wrapped around him tighter and tighter until he couldn't breathe. He woke with a start, the traveler's words still lingering. Safe harbor or cage? The days that followed were unbearable. Every thread Elias wove seemed heavier. His once beloved routine felt suffocating. He began to notice others in the market, bound by invisible chains. The baker, who worked tirelessly but never smiled. The merchant who spoke of dreams he'd given up. Their lives, like his, seemed safe but hollow. One day Elias decided to act. He packed a small bag, left his loom behind, and set out to explore what lay beyond the town. His neighbors were shocked. "Why leave? You're successful here. You're safe," they said. But Elias felt something he hadn't in years: hope. His journey was not without hardship. The roads were rough, and the unknown loomed large. But along the way, Elias discovered new colors, patterns, and techniques that he had never imagined. He met people who taught him not only about weaving, but about life. Each encounter added a new thread to the tapestry of his understanding. Months later, Elias returned to the town. He set up his loom again, but this time, his work was different. It told stories of the mountains he'd climbed, the rivers he'd crossed, and the lessons he'd learned. His clothes weren't just beautiful, they were alive, and the people noticed. His work didn't just decorate their homes, it inspired their hearts. Elias had discovered a truth that transformed his life. Security isn't found in routines or possessions. It's found in resilience, in the courage to adapt, and in the willingness to let go of what no longer serves you. The safe harbor had been an illusion. True freedom lay in the open sea. And so Elias became not just a weaver of cloth, but a weaver of stories and dreams. His work reminded the town that the greatest risk isn't stepping into the unknown. It's staying in the familiar when your soul is ready to soar. The transformation in Elias's life inspired others to reevaluate their own paths. The baker, who had spent years bound by the demands of the oven, decided to teach his daughter the family trade and take a day each week to explore painting, a passion he'd abandoned years ago. The merchant, who once spoke of lost dreams, took steps to rekindle them, traveling to distant towns to trade goods he'd always wanted to create himself. Change began rippling through the town, sparked by Elias's courage to step away from the comfort that had confined him. But the story doesn't end there. One day, the old traveler returned to Elias's workshop. This time he smiled with a knowing look. "I see you found the answer," he said. Elias nodded. "Freedom isn't about where you are. It's about who you choose to become." The traveler laughed. "And now your story will guide others to find theirs." Elias's journey became a tale passed down through generations. It reminded everyone that true security lies not in holding on to the past, but in embracing the unknown with faith and courage. The loom that once wove only cloth now wove a legacy of hope, daring, and transformation.